As I mentioned, Stratford Town first to feature on the show. We've got captain Paul McCone with us live on the show. They were knocked out of the FA Cup last night. They lost 3-0 to Hales Owen in the first round of the FA Cup qualifying replay. It was a 1-1 in the reverse fixture on Saturday. But the Bards now bow out of the FA Cup. In the league as well, it's only 1 win in 4 for Paul Davies' men. Let's get reaction from yesterday's defeat. As I said, the skipper, Paul McCone, is with us live on the show. How are you, Paul? You okay?
Yes, I'm all good, thank you.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening. I guess we'll start with the negatives. Yesterday, bowing out of the FA Cup. Obviously, it was a 1-1 in the reverse fixture, but yesterday just didn't go your way.
Yeah, 100%. It's two completely different games. The first game at their place was a fantastic game, probably what you'd call a Southern Prem game, end to end. Conditions were atrocious, but no, it was a good game, and either team could have won, so a draw was probably fair enough. But they came to our place yesterday, and we didn't show up. As simple as that. Handed them too many goals, and if you're going to do that, you don't deserve to win games of football.
Yeah, the way you conceded the goals as well, as a back line, you felt you could have prevented them?
Oh yeah, that's the hard part. Each goal you can kind of pinpoint different positions or different parts of it that could have been stopped, and that's what's a frustration in the game. We need to learn from them very quickly. We can't feel sorry for ourselves, and yeah, hopefully we can turn that round before the weekend.
Absolutely. Obviously, I mentioned it in the introduction, it's not been the strongest start for the Bards this year, Paul. Obviously, you've just come back as well to the football club. We'll touch on in a second. But I know you've been afar for the first few games, but it hasn't gone the way that the club's probably expecting, obviously just missing out on the playoffs last year. Not being the start that Paul Davies and, of course, the coaching team would have wanted.
No, it's a difficult one because as well as we finished last season, this year's a completely different year, so perhaps that's part of a bit of the problem. There's an expectation of us just turning up and winning games, which it doesn't happen. Need to probably show a little bit more respect to the teams that we're playing. I've obviously watched the first few back on the VOs. I weren't there for the first few, but the bits that I have watched, there's not much that needs tinkering with. So the basis is there. There's just a few little tweaks, and we won't be far away.
Well, fingers crossed. I want to talk about that now, Paul, because obviously you left in the summer to join Bromsgrove. Was that a tough decision for you?
100%. I actually didn't really want to move. I really enjoyed my time at Stratford. My family enjoyed the time at Stratford, and it's a very family-orientated club. But I had the opportunity to go as part of an assistant managing role, and without that role being put in front of me, I'd never thought of it. But when it was, it kind of got me thinking, and I'm not getting any younger, and it was just my first step into that side of the game, which, in all fairness, I actually really enjoyed. Didn't start too well at Bromsgrove either, but the side of the management was part that I really enjoyed. So the opportunity to come back and join Stratford under a similar sort of role, it was one that I jumped at.
Why did you end up leaving Bromsgrove, Paul?
Simply, it wasn't a good fit for me. Sometimes it happens. I've had it previously, and I didn't want to linger at somewhere where I didn't fit and the club didn't fit me. So when the opportunity came that Jed came and watched us on a play at Oelrich, and he was messaging me, and yeah, the opportunity was there to go back under a similar role, which is partly the reason that I left in the first place. So that's why I enjoyed going back to do that role at Stratford.
Okay, so you're a bit more of on the coaching department now as well as playing. So you're a first team coach. Or what are you doing at Stratford as well as the playing?
Well, at the moment I'm a player, kind of part of the staff.
Okay.
Putting ideas across
Nice.
a little bit like I did with Bromsgrove.
Okay.
I've played at this level for a few years now, so I know what needs to be done at this level to get results, and I know quite a bit about different opponents, so there's that part of it. And just giving my little input, and yeah, it's the next step into the non-playing side. At the moment I'm still playing, and hopefully I can for another few years, but it's just the first step into that part.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I remember we spoke to you before on the show, and you've said it's something you want to do, so absolutely getting the experience now while you're playing is is a great thing. We'll touch on Paul Robinson next, shall we? Because obviously he's joined the coaching department. What a CV he's got, and a club like Stratford Town is fantastic. He's here. What's he brought to the club?
It's a new voice. Paul's got some great ideas, and all we can do is learn off him and draw from his knowledge, and that's what he's brought. The 2 training sessions he did when I first joined were just fantastic. He gets everybody at the highest level they can, and he brings a professional side of non-league, and as much as it is part-time football, he brings that professional side in, and the will to win. That's something that you can't teach, so he's hopefully going to bring that into us.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, there's the opportunity of pushing up the league. You mentioned at the start, just looked on social media, obviously the Bards fans on social media, you know, tweeting about their, you know, unhappy that you guys have had the start to the year. You know, the Bards fans who listen to the show, Paul, what would your message be to them? Obviously, you mentioned at the start you want to try and get back to winning ways and push up that table.
Yeah, exactly that. They're very supportive group. They follow us home and away, and to be honest, it's a shame that the start isn't what they deserve. The only people that can turn that around is ourselves, and don't be getting anything twisted. That's what we are planning on doing. Sometimes it doesn't work, but that is football. Nobody goes out wanting to lose a game of football, but it sometimes happens. But they'll just stick with us, and if we all pull together, we will push up that table.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. You know, you've got a few games coming up next. We'll look at that now. Obviously, Saturday, Spalding United back at home as well at the Ivan Garras, and then on Tuesday night as well against Barwell. So games coming thick and fast, Paul, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, as you can imagine, the Saturday, Tuesday for a part-time team is a good amount of games in a short period of time. But that's where our squad has to come into it. But yeah, they don't get any easier. That's a fact. Even after that, they still don't get any easier. We can only take one game at a time and show, as I said earlier on, as much respect as we can to the opponents. But it's all about us. If we can turn up, we would back ourselves against most. Although it hasn't started great, we still have to have that mentality.
Absolutely. Spalding have had a great start to the year. Currently sit 5th on 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. But you're confident you can get back to winning ways on Saturday?
Well, we have to be. We need to be involved in football to win games of football. So to go in it with a negative attitude is something that I'm not willing to be part of. Most people involved will want to win a game. Again, you have to show a little bit of respect, because whether they're top of the table, whether they're bottom of the table, as you've probably seen with results, it doesn't make a lot of difference. It's all whatever team turns up at that day can do the business.
And obviously it's only a couple of games in, Paul, but what have you made of the league this year? There's some strong teams in that league, a couple of teams relegated, obviously a couple of teams promoted as well. Is it kind of similar standard to the last couple of years, or is it a bit more tougher? I know it's only a few games in, but what have you made of them?
I'd probably go a bit tougher from the read-up and from on paper what you see as teams are signing certain players. So I'd probably go with a bit tougher. But there's a lot of teams in there, including ourselves, and we can only worry about ourselves, unfortunately. So hopefully we can concentrate on what we do more than worrying about the teams that we're playing. We need to do certain details on teams, but if we can get our game right and play how we want to play, we have to back ourselves against whoever we're playing.
Paul, it's been great chatting to you. Wish you all the best, of course, for the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll catch up as well. And fingers crossed you guys can get back to winning ways and push up yourselves at the table.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thanks very much. Paul McCone then, the skipper at Stratford Town, talking about their defeat last night to Hales Owen and hopefully getting back to winning ways. Not the start all the Bards fans would have wanted, right at the bottom on 18th place. Only 1 win in 4 in the league. But as you heard from Paul, they want to make the changes. And of course, we follow them here on BBC CWR on the non-league show. So we'll keep an eye on what goes on there. Just a few games from last night. Leamington beat bottom of the